Welcome back for the final time of today. It's the last elimination match. Loser of this, well, they're done. They're out. They're gone. One team will go through, one team will not. And I think we are potentially leaving the best game till last. This could be a real close one between Fnatic and EnVyUs on Cobble. Knife rounds already came and gone. Fnatic will be starting on the CT side. I'm Vince, joined by Dust. And we're getting right into
who else
this,
gets eliminated after this game, Vince?
We do, both of us.
Yeah, indeed we do. This is our last game of the tournament. Does feel bad. But glad you guys tuned in with us all day long. Of course, it will just be the mainstream after this game for the rest of the tournament for you guys to focus on. But let's get into this pistol. Again, it is a loser-go-home situation. Saw EnVyUs have a really close game against G2 on Inferno. They've looked hot online lately. And you have a fresh-look Fnatic that we don't know too much about just yet. It looks like we are going to see EnVyUs looking to challenge over here to get some control of danger. And from here, really, the sky's the limit. I mean, they could go for the A hit. They could easily roll off into B after denying information A. Like, they have their options open, but it seems like they're firmly entrenching themselves on the A side of the map, so it seems like that is where they want to take this.
Yeah, as you say, especially as Fnatic don't have a player that's pushing up around the back of them. At this point, they're not entirely sure. Now, it's becoming more and more apparent, more and more prevalent as to where EnVyUs are going to try and traipse on. It's all over the A site. Flush is on the site himself, but he's gone down. Everywhere back is not going to play any further part of this pistol. But RPK and Sixer are going to try and hold off the retake. Crims with a kit, and he's joined by Electro. Crims is trying to spam the USP and will actually land the headshot eventually, leaving RPK, who has been a consistent monster for EnVyUs over this last month or so. And they'll be hoping he can come up trumps here, but to be honest, he's got 9 health, and he's a goner. Down he goes to the hands of Crims. Fnatic will claim first blood in this all-important best of one.
Looks like Crims just had to tear that round. 4 kills on it. Great individual effort. Well managed from Fnatic. That rush was getting quite scary. They were gaining a lot of ground, but Crims really did step up to the plate to deliver the blows that were required for a round. And so EnVyUs will be onto a full save, right? I mean, they want to get that buy in the third round after the bomb plant in the first, so they will basically give this one up for free, you'd imagine. Are some upgraded pistols sprinkled around, though, including a Deagle on Scream, so chance for them to maybe pose just a small threat. Never quite know with these upgraded pistols sometimes.
Yeah, although they have held off by and large, they have got enough to make this round interesting if a couple kills go their way. I mean, you've still got Deagles and P250s capable of ripping through heads. So Fnatic need to be respectful as to what EnVyUs can bring into this round. After they had their way with G2 up until the last half. Scream, though, is going to land the 1 dig. And that's the point, really, that EnVyUs shouldn't be in this position to start off with. They started very well against G2. And then just kind of through towards the end, they made a lot of bad mistakes, a lot of bad judgment calls, and a couple of players went off the boil. So we know they have it within them to beat Fnatic. And after this start, things are going to get a little bit sketchy, but Fnatic have started to stabilize. Golden onto XMS, and with RPK being low, that may be all that Fnatic required. Now just get a crossfire established onto B long. If EnVyUs push, they will be running into a grinder. Not much time left now, though. They're going to have to go towards B. And Sixer is going to be taking point with his P250. At least lands a frag. This gives them a little bit of hope to get onto the side. What is going on? Happy and Sixer both just ripping through heads. And Flusher, who got 4 kills, and pardon me, actually, it was Crims that got 4 kills in the first round, is dead. And Flusher now has to pick up 3 of his own. There's the first. 2 more to follow, he's hoping for. Second one's in there, and now it's all on Happy. He's digged Flusher, and he's going to finish off Flusher too. EnVyUs with pistols, no Kevlar, have done it. They have completely decimated Fnatic's economy.
That's really not the way you want to start your elimination game if you're Fnatic. You win pistol, you're up against basically nothing because EnVyUs have that bomb plant. They're trying to save money to get a buy in the third round. Their best case scenario is hoping for just another bomb plant, but then you let them somehow open the door. And it's crazy how rapid the tides turned, you know, from calm, placid seas to turbulent waters over there inside that B bomb site. Just 3 rapid frags and almost the blink of an eye changed everything. And now all of a sudden it is Fnatic who are actually having the force buy just to see if they can scrap their way back into this. A loss here sets their economy back so much, and Envy just basically start taking over the beginning of this half as they're trying to go for a counter boost, but Happy, he's wise to it, finds the headshot on the gold, and he takes a fair amount of damage, sure, but it's still an instant 5-on-4 for the French side. I really thought Happy might crater there. Got a little worried.
Yeah, just 3 health.
Did get that surf, though.
Of course, historically, this is a map that Envy, a lot of these players, have been phenomenal on. So it would be a little bit of a shock to the system for Fnatic. As you say, a lot of question marks still in the likes of Lekro and Golden in this roster.
Also, just a little brief note that these brands have certainly played against each other several times this year in online and offline play combined, and it's 3-3 in head-to-head matchups, but obviously the Fnatic lineup much different than all of those occasions. You see a B attack coming in for Envy.
Yeah, just 26 seconds left, but that flashbang is going to eradicate J-Dub. You couldn't see anything, and it looks like the situation that you painted for us earlier with Fnatic being in turmoil if they lost this round is going to be the case. Crims wants to hold on to this 5-7 Kevlar for dear life. It gives him something to try and play with into the next round, but EnVyUs have done it. And they don't lose a single player either, so that's going to do the world of good to their economy, build it up nicely. And they know that the next round is a gimme round. Like, ultimately, they're going to be against a 5-7. That's pretty much it, so they're cruising at this stage.
Yeah, EnVyUs just cruising through. Again, we've been seeing them really rise up since the EU minor. They haven't necessarily always been up against the best competition, but they've qualified for every LAN that's been in front of them, and they've been waiting for this moment for a while to see if it'll transition to a big-time tournament. And right now, they are getting a good start going here against Fnatic, who now, in this round, really have nothing to work with. Just that saved armor 5-7 from Crims, and there really shouldn't be anything else coming out of the Swedish side.
Yeah, I wouldn't even like to see a flash or a PT50 here. Just complete save. You're on CT side. If you're on the T side at this stage, you can afford a PT50 or a flash, because obviously it's cheaper for you to get a full investment. Definitely not on the CT side, though. So it is just going to be the save 5-7 Kevlar. This leaves them very bare indeed. They're going to go for a stack. I at least can applaud this. They're hoping that EnVyUs will walk into B, but I feel like EnVyUs will try and feel their way out towards mid, maybe up Danger eventually, see what's going on there, and then maybe transition into more of an A-centric hit. It's all about just feeling out. This round probably will take a little while, and they don't even have like a Mac 10 or a UMP to be more of an expendable weapon here. Like, typically, if you have a Mac 10 in this kind of a scenario, you just send them out first to go on a scouting mission, just to go completely ham and try and get as much money as possible. But you don't really want to be throwing away a Galil or an AK, because Fnatic will happily take that and save it. So they've got to play a little bit more safe at this stage.
Yeah, they have drop-down room control, so that at least gives them another angle of attack into the B-bomb site. They're not going to get forced through one solo choke point into this 5-man stack and get chopped up. There's a chance to get some extra peeks off here. But still, you expect Envy to take this one. That's a clean start from XMS.
Yeah, this is excellent work. Flashbang's on point. I thought they may try and feel their way out of mid, but they did it on B and drop instead. Either's fine. Played it slow, played it smart, and they come out of it with full weapons. I mean, their economy at this stage is booming. Everyone's over 6.7k, apart from Sixer, who's gone in for an AWP instead. So, I mean, you've got Happy, who's nearly on 10k. He's $50 off 10k. Whereas Fnatic, no kits, full M4s, no incendiaries, which are pretty big on a map like Cobblestone. They are in a rough shape.
And again, this is a Fnatic team that just came off of a scrappy game with Immortals. Had really big CT side on that game as well. Just want to point that out. They got 9 rounds in their CT. Lost the game 16-14. That was just a few hours ago. Crims opening up into this one, but the damage is coming back. Didn't get the frag though. Crims survives with 14 and fades back into the A-bomb site.
Yeah, I think it was Sixer that tagged him with the ult through the door after he got the kill. So he's down to 14. Good entry again by XMS. This is a map that he typically shines on. Although the molly from his teammate stops him from traipsing down drop. Or danger, I should say, pardon me. It's okay, because they've got their pick and they're starting to maneuver their way back. I say they've got their pick, but actually Fnatic have lost a player, so I'm not sure what's going on with that. If it's a technical issue or what's going on, but I'm sure we'll find out info soon. Lecro's going to go in for a kill. RPK falls. And very important round for Fnatic. JW in prime position to strike while he's around him, but the flashbang allows him to get that first kill and try and back away. He's going to go for a second one, and Lecro comes through for the third. I was a bit worried for Fnatic there, but they managed to stabilize, and, well, they are going to be able to move forward with rifles.
And it's really great teamwork in the B-bomb site. That pop flash was so on point for JW to get that kill and give Lecro a little bit of time to settle in over towards the statue and find some more as well. So Fnatic beginning to respond, but they need to fear that reset. That's the big thing. EnVyUs had plenty of bank to rebuy here. Their money, however, in a difficult spot. We are going to see RPK and Happy. They're going to be working over here towards the B platform, just playing out into a default.
Yeah, very passive at the back right now. Sixer with his AWP. But no one's watching drop, and Lecro just got picked off from behind. What's going on there, Fnatic? That is the freest of kills, Dust.
I was literally about to say those exact words, but you really did just take it away. And again, with drop-down room control, EnVyUs just have so much at their disposal. They really can just kind of toy with Fnatic now. You have to respect that A is still an option with drop control for some type of split through connector, but then obviously you could just be adding routes to your B attack. And so Fnatic, they really have to kind of think things through. They're going to hedge their bets on the B-bomb site with Flusha committing to watching window, and two players in the B-bomb site leaving Crimson alone solo A, and Golden does find a really big frag, but can they find more?
That is the question. XMS again with entries. Nice flick by JW. And with Sixer being quite low, USP may be good enough. JW clearly showing up for this fight. He wants to make sure Fnatic progress through on home soil. And there we have it. He takes down a 4K. Exquisite play. And I've got to say though, Lecro, things have to change. I don't know if it was necessarily his fault or someone called that they weren't moving out a drop. I have no idea. But him getting picked off in the back like that, it's unacceptable. That can't happen again.
Yeah, you can't be giving away free kills, that's for sure. Luckily, JW comes up with a big individual effort with the AWP inside that B-bomb site, locks it down on his own, steers Fnatic away from very scary seas when it comes to their economy there. Having a reset would have been devastating, but he keeps them afloat. You are going to see EnVyUs maybe looking to pick up the pace a little bit. They have a lot of players gathered up at B platform right off the bat, but it might be a little bit of a fake. You see RPK bringing that bomb with Happy over to mid-slope. So this could all be a sham.
It's looking like it, and Fnatic have bit down hard on this. They rotated all their players off. They're all clumping towards the site, and this is the thing we were talking about before with fakes. You have to make sure the one player over there is getting entries, because that will keep people interested. XMS has done it, but quickly Fnatic realized that maybe, just maybe, it's not going to be after all. And they send two players back, but that's not going to be enough to contend with the four-player strong push that is coming in. And now XMS, although he's low, is able to rotate round the back of Fnatic, and every second that they hold them off from coming through onto the site is XMS getting closer and closer to striking. Golden trying to spray his way back onto the site, but here is XMS. He's on the lurk like a coiled viper, ready to strike, and Golden will get the fangs, and it's possible he could even get more kills out of this. I'm amazed that XMS is still alive here. This is a phenomenal performance by him. And that's the round done. The question now is how many kills does Lecro take with him? And the answer is just one. Excellent stuff by EnVyUs.
Absolutely well played again. The keys to selling a fake, as you noted, is not only getting the utility in there to make people interested, but having that staying power to keep them around. And that one kill that XMS got was just enough to buy time for Envy to get up mid-slope before Fnatic could actually get back into the A site. You did see them get towards balcony and door, but they never actually could cross APC and find their way in. EnVyUs were already up there to meet them, and they traded out very well. Stayed a man ahead, and XMS even gets to become a factor later on by being a flank and connector, so things become very uneasy for Fnatic at that point. So really well done by XMS in particular, but just a well-crafted play. Fnatic really did over-rotate on that. And now you see what they're left with, just some basic pistols on most. No armor, no utility. They should be really easy pickings, and Happy has already found one.
Weakened Fnatic. Not starting great. $900 left on Golden as well. $1,400 on Lekro. So a couple players at least into this next round will be eyeing up the very real possibility of a half or some kind of terrible force bite. So Fnatic, this is gutting out their mid-portion of this half. Flusher and Crims, just a P250 between the two of them. Exit frags looking like the only way they can get anything done this round, and even that is asking a lot. Flusher, P250. Noise to his right, able to decapitate Happy. Maybe there's another kill in him just yet. Yes, there is. Nice work by Flusher. Very unlikely saves this AK as Scream is pushed up onto headshot. And 5-3 to score. And this is where it gets a little bit sketchy. Golden's 2.8k, Lekro's 3.3. But it looks like they are going to buy.
And they're going to go ahead and get into this as quickly as they can. They want JW to have a round with the AWP sooner rather than later before EnVyUs really start racking up the lead. Unfortunately for him, it's going to be a glass cannon, so he has to be a bit more careful about dancing around up close with some of these players as he did in that big 4K round he had. Also, you're putting a lot of trust in SMGs here, which certainly can have their roles in up-close positions like drop or up-close broken wall or aggressive A. But you can't get caught out and Scream. He is hunting, and Flusha is not too far behind as he's trying to backtrack Stables, but he can't quite get away. And that's going to start opening up this A-bomb site as Scream follows up with the second.
I mean, that just seemed like pure timing where Fnatic, I'm not sure if they just overextended or had cold feet or what, but they were caught in transition backing off. That's just not good enough by Fnatic. You've effectively given up the A site with very little retaliation after forcing in a buy, remember, that wasn't great to start with. So now, realistically, they just need to try and save this AWP and maybe the M4 behind it. Maybe Golden can do some damage on his way out, but Fnatic, they are in tatters at this stage now. 3-6 doesn't look bad, but it's all about the fact that the momentum is going the way of EnVyUs. The economy is definitely going in their favor. And Fnatic seem a little bit lost here. 3 of their rounds came off the back of breaking the economy of EnVyUs after the pistol.
Indeed, at least they get to retain some firepower, which is pivotal given that the money is in such dire straits. Golden even gets to upgrade to an AK off of his MP9, as well as getting a little bit of cash out of it as well. So that does help things out just a smidgen, but again, it's going to be a mixed bag for them going into this as far as their arsenal. So EnVyUs racking up here. Another stretch of 3 rounds in a row to double up the lead here on Fnatic. There's going to be a pause coming in here from Fnatic to take a little bit of extra time to talk things through.
I can definitely respect this call, though. Like, this early on, a lot of teams will wait maybe till another round or 2 passes, but I like that they're doing this earlier. Trying to figure out exactly what's going to happen. They have a decision to make in this round too, saving 3 weapons. Do they fall by behind it? Do they just try and equalize the economy? And I think we've had the answer. They are going to force behind it. Interestingly enough, though, I feel like this may be a little bit of a whiff, though, in terms of a buy, because Lekro could have afforded to drop a UMP, so could JW. Instead, Fnatic have 2 players and pistols. And it's not like they were saving this money to get more nades. They're coming out the buy round with 1,900 and 1,400 respectively. I think that's maybe a little bit of a miscall.
Yeah, when you're putting 3 players this down low on cash, it feels like you might as well just go ahead and go all in with Crims and Flusha. Like you said, exactly. Dropping them something. So it is a little bit questionable. It does give you a little bit more money long term, but I mean, you're still not going to be able to really get anything on Flusha or Crims or Golden with that 4-round loss bonus, 2,900 coming in. It's still going to be really hard for them. We'll have to see how it pans out nonetheless, as we do see Scream looking to take some way into danger. Flusha does get that kill, and he could find a rifle, and that could really bolster this defense a lot. But he gets caught.
He does. I suppose the good news for Fnatic is it was one of their pistol carriers, so it's not as if they've lost the AWP or one of the assault rifles right off the bat, but I mean, that's really trying to look for the positives. Ultimately, Scream has also gone down. A fair chunk of the round has gone with it. 40 seconds left. Crim's not far off, connecting onto Happy. Oh, great shot by Crims. And now that Happy's dead, they're like, okay, it's B. I mean, he's not going to be on A at this stage by himself. You know what you're getting with Happy. And now instantly they can all out-rotate. 20 seconds now. Six is going to put down Crims. There is still some life left in EnVyUs yet, but the next kill has got to go their way. If Fnatic claim it, this round's done. There's simply not enough time. Sixer with one, but there's 7 seconds. Fnatic can just play this one smart. He's going to be pushing onto the site with 5 bullets, and Sixer is a dead man. Picking up the AWP in the process. Solid round by Fnatic, and that's with a pretty poor buy and losing the first player. Well played.
It really gets him out of a tough spot there. I mean, just, you could tell what Happy was trying to do by playing on that mid slope. He's trying to lock those 2 players in place at A and give his teammates a real good shot at trading into B, especially if they can just get past that op of JW, but neither works out. Happy gets caught really early on, and JW was actively peeking long B, so he got the information right away, as well as a kill, and that pretty much put everything to a screeching halt for Envy. But Sixer, he's going to best JW here on just a straight-up aim duel. So it's going to give EnVyUs a quick 5-on-4. Sixer has taken some damage for his troubles, but nonetheless, he's gained the advantage. Meanwhile, Flusha looking to try to maybe even things up by getting aggro.
This game is really tipping in the balance with both teams very vulnerable, financially speaking. Every kill is so impactful, and it's gone the way of Happy. As he rummages through mid, he's got through connector, through the window. Golden's dead and buried. Now this puts so much pressure on Lekro. He's all alone on an island. A sea of terrorists coming at him. He's got an AWP. And he's missed the first shot. Didn't look like it was too far off, but it's not going to help his team. Close isn't good enough. Crims now trying to do what he can to save, but again, this is just so rough for Fnatic. They finally get around. They finally get something going their way. And suddenly that guillotine comes down. And they have been put out of their misery once again.
Another hard reset to Fnatic. This is now the 3rd time it's happened to them this half. And you know how troublesome it can be for CT teams with the more expensive guns to have to deal with this many mishaps on their economy. Just great work from Envy. Again, Happy making a big play. This time it's panning out, coming through connector. There was just no way for Fnatic to rotate anymore. Like, Lekro was just stuck at B, and what could they really do? They're locked into a double long A hall setup, and Happy's between them and the B bomb site, so really difficult stuff, and now this is just kind of a freebie for Envy, unless the pistols of Fnatic can come through. A couple do happen to chime in, but Envy's still starting to get some control here.
It does feel like a bit of a consolation, though, in terms of frags, because ultimately these guns are going to rain out. Now I'm going to claim more kills and flush up. Not long for this world. Happy up on a perch. 1 health. The dream is real. EnVyUs move 8-4 in the lead. And even in this round, you're looking at Fnatic and you're thinking, what do they buy? 3k Golden, 3k JW, 3.7k Flusher. Decisions to be made. It's going to be a half buy, though.
Yeah, I mean, This is a fine buy. I mean, they're still setting themselves up to be able to get a full buy in the next round, but still trying to pose a threat in this one so it can respect it. They've been dealt a lot of tough calls on the economy this game. As Envy have done really well at just kind of playing map control, and they've really done well at kind of changing the pace. Like, the pacing changes have been on point for Envy. Again, they look like a much deeper team tactically nowadays. Not only that, but some of their players are really just getting into good form. You know, in recent times, particularly RPK has just really kind of risen up in a lot of the online games I've seen. And really no one's struggling in this game for Envy. It's a really tight spread. I mean, it's what, 12-8, so a 4-kill spread from top to bottom. That's good stuff. That's efficient. It's the dream scenario.
Like, in all honesty, RPK has been one of the better players for EnVyUs over this last little while. He's been really refreshing to watch. Some of the entries in particular he's been pulling off have been absolutely nuts, but Lekro's going to force that CZ down the throats of EnVyUs. And keep pulling until the magazine's empty. He's got himself a 3rd. What is happening? EnVyUs. Not like this again. Please don't fail twice in the same day after having a nice lead. Oh my goodness. Fnatic have dodged bullets, quite literally.
Man, oh man, dude. It's just like somehow that Fnatic brand, no matter what players are underneath it, just screams scream we can win rounds with crazy pistol buys. It's just something about Fnatic for whatever reason. So we do see Golden giving Lekr a little bit of a love tap to start off this round. He's down to 70 HP, but the double op is in play for Fnatic for the first time.
Thanks for clutching that round. Have a knife in the back. Brilliant.
Like a little spank on the ass, but with a little bit more force behind it, you know?
Oh, flusher. As soon as he missed that up shot, that's it. He's dead. He's gone. If not by XMS, then he had Scream and another... I think it was Sixer behind him as well. So again, it's like one step forward for Fnatic and several backwards. They only got 2 rounds together one time. Other than that, rounds have been spread out. And again, you can see a very reactionary player by Fnatic. When one player dies, they're very quick to rotate. They're now starting to put JW back towards B, but even then, they're not watching long at all. There is 0 presence on long, and as a result, B is very vulnerable, and that's going to play into the back of their minds. RPK jumping around the corner with 1, we see JW2,
what?
who runs out. That is such a strange peek. And down he goes. Cannons is going to have to provide some serious artillery, and Lekro's not up to the task. Crim's now 1 on 2. The bomb going to be planted on A. Crims does have maybe a glimmer of hope in the sense that RPK is on just 3 health. But they both have AWPs. If they keep it to long range, then Crims should just be snuffed out before he even gets close to the site. He's going to have the benefit of the doubt, though, as Sixer still thinks that Balcony could be a presence. That could allow Crims to get into position. He's now seen Sixer. Definitely saw him jump up. The Crims has missed his chance, and in doing so, the round should be slipping away. Doesn't really have the time anyway, and down he goes to the hands of RPK, who comes in for another massive round. 3 kills to his name, 9 rounds to EnVyUs.
Again, it's just RPK making a solo effort out of drop. He pretty much killed any ability for Fnatic to have a rotation. It was dead. It wasn't even just holding them in place, it was wiping them off the board. Got a little bit dicey, though, because they were still committing to A, and Crims was popping off a couple of kills, and there still were players on that site, but it just wasn't enough. And again, another reset here to Fnatic. It's last round of the half. So they get what they can, and there's actually not too shabby. I mean, they don't have any kits, so that's a real problem. If a bomb plant happens, it makes retakes a lot more difficult. Save for the fact that they also don't have any real utility left either, so... they have to just rely on winning some key aim duels with some of these riflers. Or the AWP of actually Crims of all people to have it.
Yeah, that is an odd decision. You know, you're expecting to see JW with it, really. I don't know. They obviously have their own ideas. 4-player stack on B. That's going to live Flusher by himself. He's going to get 1 kill to his credit, but XMS is just going to scurry behind him. And he's so outnumbered that pretty much was dead as soon as he opened fire. That being said, though, Fnatic have got the player advantage in their favour. So it just seems like pistols have been king on this map thus far. As is often the case with CS right now, to be honest.
And really good play by JW. I mean, he just gets a kill at long B, and he wastes no time pushing through and basically locking down B by himself, so they can commit 3 players on the A-bomb side on Fnatic with no worry, really, of anyone slipping by. Lekr will play inside connector just in case, but Crims and Golden, they're going to go double default, and expecting that's going to be difficult. Like, you may not suspect 1 there, but once you get that kill, are you really going to suspect a second? They do get that kill, but they do get the Molotov out, so even though they may not suspect it, it still forces the player. And it's a spot, wait, no, it bounced past him, so he's still up here, and he's still defending. He gets the bomb down. There's no time left.
Yep, that's Fnatic winning. I was going to say, please do not give Sixer an opportunity to clutch this round. Fnatic, that should always be yours, and indeed it will be. 9-6. Strangely enough, you know, I think Fnatic look at that and they're thinking, okay, it's not as bad as it could have been. It could have been an absolute nightmare half. You're looking at like 11-4 sort of territory for EnVyUs, but Fnatic dug in deep. They were tenacious. 9-6, not too bad. Win second pistol, game's back on.
Wow, it's crazy to think just like how much impact 1 missed Molotov had that round. Because again, it was double default from Fnatic. They got 1 kill. I'm thinking, all right, they may not suspect Golden to be there. Then they throw a Molotov, And I don't even know if they realized that it missed, that it went past and actually landed, you know, down on the floor. And so that even further allowed Golden to just kind of keep a position that they couldn't really expect. And with so little time left on the clock, you don't really have the ability to manage that. Like, you have to just hope you can get the clean kill, and they don't, and that's the end of the round. So we do see Fnatic just fit 3 in there in the last 6 rounds of the half. We saw a little bit more of a back and forth, but it's still a decent advantage for EnVyUs going in their CT side.
Well, here we have it. Let's have a look what the two teams have in store. Interestingly enough, in the current sort of meta, I guess, of CSGO, it's very rare that you'll see both teams not bother with any nades. Or at least no smokes or flashes. Scream does have a decoy, but no kits, no nades between the two teams, ultimately. Just raw on trading on the cards, and trade they shall. At top of the drop, JW with a second, trading to the USP, using it against the CTs. And with still so much time left, EnVyUs can't even fully bank on B being the site of choice here.
Oh, the timing is unreal for XMS to get his eyes off of Long and let JW out. It's a shot to the back of the head, execution style for Fnatic as they take the B-bomb site now, and they have a massive advantage.
Yeah, this is simply massive. JW's also held the same position on B for a while, so he knows it's clear. He's checked every corner. This is where the lack of kit and the lack of nades could really hurt Envy. It's going to come down to some pretty ridiculous one-taps. And they do have the one-tap king. Scream is it. Alive and well. I'm going to jump on board with him and see what he's got in store. Coming through drop zone, sees Lekro, but Lekro actually instantly gooshes him and then finishes him off afterwards, leaving 6 up and a crossfire to his demise. So Fnatic have picked up the second pistol. Fair enough. Now, if they close out, it's going to be all even.
Absolutely, they could be on pace to tie this thing right up, right here, right now. And you do see that EnVyUs are going to go for pretty much the full force. Only Sixer doesn't take armor. That's because he's looking for the AWP, obviously, in the opening gun round. You see RPK trying to jiggle peek with his knives out to try to be quicker, and that's a great flashbang. He's going to be able to chase them down, but he doesn't actually get the kill. Fnatic, despite the threat, they weather the storm and they clear things out. Though XMS, I mean, Deagle armor, Lekro low on HP, can we really count them out?
No, definitely not. Definitely not. Now, if he calls this position correctly, the EnVyUs have gone to B, I thought he may even think about coming around the back of them and picking up one of the weapons that was dropped. But instead, he's going to go straight to the site. He has full confidence in his Deagle, and why the hell not? But look at this. Fnatic, they're playing the long con. They're like, now we're going to smoke, and then we're going to push back. And to be fair, XMS is like, I've read the script, I'm ahead of you, I know exactly what's coming up. What a strange round this has been, but if XMS pulls it off, he's going to look like a genius. May not have been him that called it, to be fair, but he's in prime position to strike now. Will Fnatic expect this? The problem is the player at Stables has just seen his leg, and JW's on the prowl. You hate to see it. XMS! Great calls, but unfortunately, JW, he knew where you were. 8 to 9.
He did everything perfect, pretty much, in that 1v2, other than catch the timing on Stables. So he is going to go down a bit anticlimactic because it showed a lot of promise. They actually did do a fair amount of damage in middle. I thought Fnatic were going to clean that up a little bit better than they did, but actually came down to the 2v1, but they do finish it off nonetheless. It does stop them from getting a lot of money stored up, at least for Envy, but this is a round they can just get that right back, as Envy will just have to 5-man stack with basic pistols.
And it's back to the slaughterhouse as EnVyUs are being put down. JW with 2 digs. All money in the bank for the Swedes. And from experience, I can tell you, when they play in front of that Malmö crowd, if they do go through from this point, it's going to go mad. Crims not quite able to get the full frag, but will do the rest, and it is flawless. So we're all even. Anybody's match, anybody's game, but EnVyUs will have a rifle round coming to fruition.
Indeed they will. We'll include Sixer on the AWP. Normally kind of an A-heavy AWP player. They like to run double op on Envy, but obviously no money for that in this one. Meanwhile, Fnatic will hold on to a couple of Mat 10, see if they can get a little bit more out of them. We do see them just going into what seems to be just a B-heavy default. Pretty standard stuff for Cobblestone as they're letting JW have some time with the op to maybe find something, but smoke will block his vision. As I say that, though, Lekra was creeping up behind these smokes, maybe looking to get out of here and look for a pick, but Envy do have some counter nades set up.
Oh no, the XMS. Fnatic is not up to the task for Golden's Mac 10. He leaps into the air. A repel RPK. Happy though, in drop. He's making it his home, his fortress. On 1 health again. Scream now steps up onto the rock. Needs to be very careful. Jesus Christ, Sixer. He very nearly just TK'd Happy there as he jumped through the door. I don't know if you caught that on stream, but that was not far off. Happy's going to be put down anyway to JW. And down goes Lekra. All on JW now with 2 health. 30 seconds. Trying to throw away the AWP, making sure that EnVyUs don't get a second. And then it's like, well, hold on a second, bro. I kind of need a weapon myself to save. And he's off to save his AWP. EnVyUs will pick up the round. The first rifle goes their way.
Yeah, you gotta put a lot of credit to Happy on that one. I mean, things were getting a bit dicey whenever Golden was popping off with that Mac 10 inside drop-down room, but Happy finally silenced him. Not only that, but he got the 180 around and got that first kill on the push out of Long B, and I think that's what really kind of tilted the odds. I mean, EnVyUs had the main advantage from that point forward, and while JW did, you know, catch on to that counter boost pretty early on and give himself a bit of a chance, they never really, you know, got back ahead of EnVy. EnVy was always a step in front of them, and they will be a step in front of them now on the scoreboard as well. 10-9. That's how things play out for now. As even though EnVy won, their buy is actually still a little bit strained. They have 2 FAMAS and a Mag 7. Meanwhile, Fnatic actually has the better purchase as far as equipment value goes.
Yo, Moonman look for TV, something. You know that myself and Dust aren't controlling the camera, right? I'm just throwing it out there. We're just casting, bro. We're a producer.
Yep. Blame Vince, actually. He's also a producer. Don't want to lie to you.
Yeah. It's me controlling the casters. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah. Also, all the delays we had between maps, Vince's fault.
Yep. True.
Every single one.
Any lag, my fault.
Yep. Your team lost the round, Vince's fault. Someone went negative that you have on your fantasy team, Vince's fault.
Blame Vince. Hashtag it. Well, back into the action though. 55 seconds. The Scream spin flash. We're going to turn his back, and that smoke's actually going to help him out. But there is another flash that was actually thrown from his teammate that just bodied him. He's actually pushed through the smoke, and meanwhile JW kills Golden. What the actual hell is going on in mid? Everything that could have gone wrong for Fnatic just did. Lekra is going to try and remedy the situation by spraying down with the AK. There's 2 kills. Looking for a third. XMS can't finish him off. And the sad news and the feels bad moment now for XMS is he has a Mag 7. He wishes he had some kind of a rifle to work with. That's why he had his USP out at range as opposed to any kind of a primary weapon. He is going to land the headshot all the same, and now he's got an AWP. Like, what? Lekra's just been knocked out of his shoes. What a clutch.
What a clutch from XMS. I'm going to be honest, I didn't see anything else that round because I was stuck on a glitch smoke grenade. You know, that little awesome bug we have in the game. So I actually didn't get to catch all the chaos at middle, but what a clutch from XMS. Maybe you can recap what went down.
So, again, I'm not sure if it was all caught, but basically Scream pop flashed himself through mid. At the same time that happened, someone pushed past him in the smoke. JW threw a nade. Golden ran and got naded by JW, and then Scream shot JW in the side of the head. All within the space of like 2 seconds.
That does sound rather messy.
There's a phrase that comes to mind, the first word being cluster. I won't finish that off, but that's pretty accurate as to what happened. I'll just leave that with you guys through imagination. But Envy now have taken a 2-round lead after losing the pistol in the 2 subsequent rounds. JW, though, with the CZ, gonna shove it into Happy's face. RPK's gonna go down 2. What is this, EnVyUs? They've given a weapon away. JW's only lost 28 health for 2 kills, and elsewhere, Flush is going in with his CZ. This game continues to amaze, continues to surprise. And I'm sure there's a lot of EnVyUs fans watching this with their head in their hands. Like, what is happening?
Something about when these brands play against each other bring out the worst in the game when it comes to, like, how ridiculous pistol rounds can sometimes work. It just, every time, it just feels like it's just the way it works between these two teams. They just find ways to win rounds with CZs and other upgraded pistols, and this is no exception to that. JW just popping off 2 players, trying to go for a counter boost and drop down room. Normally something you can get away with, but JW just gets an instant 5-on-3 off the back of it, and it's just kind of easy riding from there. And Fnatic are right back at EnVyUs. They've actually reset Envy, and Envy's in a tough spot right now because while they're ahead, I mean, they can only hope that they can do the same thing right back to Fnatic in this round, basically.
I wish I had like a personal stat man, because I would literally just say, find me how many times EnVyUs have lost against Pistols and Kevlar in super important rounds like that. It's got to be like mad numbers at this stage. It happened in the previous game against G2. It's happening in here in Fnatic. If they just converted that round, they're in such good position to close this map out. Instead, now it's Fnatic's turn to turn up the heat themselves. JW unlucky not to get that kill. Did tag, but XMS moved to the side where the wall was just slightly in front of JW. So that shielded the brunt of the damage.
And now they're going to gamble at some type of triple drop-down room setup here. And Golden is up there. Hasn't really pried in, though. In the meantime, Scream just tried to peek mid for a little bit of information. Does fall back after spotting a player and receiving a little bit of chip damage. Bombs hasn't committed anywhere yet for Fnatic. They're still maybe trying to look to get some of this drop-down room play going on. I think one player did just get boosted tree. That's going to be Happy, I believe. So he's going to hope to see if he can't pull the wool over Fnatic's eyes, because I don't think this spot's been used yet in this particular game, so it could come out to shock someone.
How is XMS still alive? That nade looked like it was destined to clean him out. He had 17 health. That only did 5 damage. Landed basically right next to him. Will that end up to haunt Fnatic? Probably not, judging by the difference in weapons, but RPK gonna light up Golden with P250. This is where you expect the rifles to really rain out supreme. Down goes Scream, and we're all even once again. And this buy from EnVyUs is forthcoming. Likely there's going to be just a few pistols and not much else.
Yeah, finally a little bit of a halt to all the shenanigans as finally see a real round of CS, it feels like, where things go the way you expect as Fnatic do pull that one out. After a little bit of a struggle first getting out, when you're losing a player right off the bat, they do pretty much trade with no further issue into that, and now they've tied things right back up 11 on. Again, Envy have even less to work with in this round. There's no armor behind these pistols. They can throw a jab, but they can't really weather the storm to throw that right hook, so they just have to hope that a miracle gimmick can get them through a round like this, as they will stack 4A with a few on the slope. Oh, I like what Flush is doing here. This is a smoke that goes in the connector from middle. It could make you think it's an A hit. And they're already stacked A to begin with, so that smoke may just further make them think that they're right. As they do peek mid, though, they're going to find out that no one is actually there. So they know it's a fake, and they can't get a quick flank in.
And they also had another player that was pushing up long, which is Happy. So they know for a guaranteed fact...
Wait, Flush is alone!
Electro, though, is going to be able to spray down and help him out.
Oh.
It was close. It was very close to Flusher going down and dropping the bomb and that being really awkward, but Electro did have his teammates back in the end. And now Fnatic will very likely convert from this point. Happy with just the USP in mid. And meanwhile, XMS is in drop, so they can't stop the bomb plant. That's going to be a gimme. Fnatic will take the lead again.
Yeah, clean win. The only thing that looked a little bit threatening was when Flusha looked like he might get isolated with the bomb, and then you have to kind of wonder if things are going to get a little bit tricky from that point forward. But as you noted, Lekro was very vigilant in the whole situation and made sure that no gimmicks came to pass. And so Fnatic will be up 12-11, but Envy will be back onto the bye this round. And it is going to be double AWP, I believe. Happy has picked one up, Glass Cannon. Sixer has 6k, so you have to imagine he's looking to do the same thing, but with armor behind it. And that is going to be the case, so it is finally Envy going to that double AWP setup against Sixer, usually A, so Happy will have the other one on the B-bomb site.
Not far off from that shot either. Sixer went to peek mid. See a player cross. Downside of having this kind of investment, it means they have no kits and they have a distinct lack of nades. And Fnatic haven't had issues with bursting out onto the site so far. Lekro's going to try and spray through. They're going to be boosting over the smoke, and Lekro does eat a headshot for his troubles. He's not going to go down, but 9 health. He has to be very wary of a potential random shot or nade. Of course, we can see from our benefit of the spectator client that they don't have any HEs, but of course he doesn't know that. And then meanwhile, JW's down. Nade landing in the eyes of XMS, shrapnel over his face, down to 62. So EnVyUs are holding on with their double up setup for the time being. And with that first kill, it does afford them a chance to play a little bit more passive.
Yeah, Happy even gets to hold all the way down long B, so he has all the information in the world. Now, drop down room is under siege, but I mean, XMS and RPK are doubling up on it, so Fnatic are in a lot of trouble. They don't actually have as much room to work B as they'd hoped for, but Golden does get a really key entry. Unfortunately, XMS trades, but guess what? Crim snaps right back, and all of a sudden B does become a bit of a threat, but they're not even capitalized on it just yet. They're actually shifting over to A, where there's more defenders in position, actually. They've read this a bit wrong, unfortunately, and now they may suffer the consequences of a round loss.
And seeing Lekro push up long like that, they're almost guaranteed to think the bomb's coming up mid, and indeed it is. Scream's seen, but I like he's not actually going for that trade. He's playing the time instead. He's basically saying, you walk into my world, you walk into the angle that makes me the favourite to win that trade. Very patient, smart play. Fair enough, Crims is going to go down at the end. And EnVyUs only keep one weapon, meaning that they're still in pretty bad shape, but I really like that Scream actually played that patient as opposed to going for the trade, because if he loses that trade, there's actually a way for EnVyUs to effectively lose that round from that point. So he wanted to just be absolutely safe.
Yeah, it's just a little bit unlucky for Fnatic. I mean, they get a 2-for-1 trade in drop down room, and you're hoping that you've drawn a rotation out of A into at least connector, but they just didn't. I mean, there was still a player posted up long A. That was Scream. He never budged. So they actually wound up going into the site that had, you know, more defenders. So that's just a little bit unlucky, you have to think. And now they're trying to pick up the pace with something faster up middle. Prim's leading with the AK. Sixers found one AWP fit, and now Scream's coming in as well. But Fnatic do trade even, and they're starting to make some headway.
And Sixers magic stick is going to land onto Flusha from balcony. It's going to force Fnatic's hand at a rotation with Golden low. This is going to be rough. Their journey to B is going to be dark and full of terrors. Smoke off towards the rocks, going to allow them free passage across. But this is where Golden's low health is going to be a real issue. If the bullet started to fly through the smoke, he could have died if one of them hit him. Prim's going to hold the angle. We saw JW on a few times earlier. And now Prim's just looking for the... Oh no, he's maybe given his position away too early there. If he's going to shoot that early, he has to get that first kill. He can't whiff it. And so Fnatic will concede the round. EnVyUs move to 13-12 in the lead.
And really well done by Sixer with the AWP there. A couple of kills in the round. Almost a team ace, so to be fair. So really everyone from EnVyUs pitched in on that one. Just handling the faster pace play from Fnatic well on the A side and maintaining a man advantage as Fnatic tried to pivot to the opposite end of the map, but only to find the bomb plant and nothing else. It does give them some money into this at least. They are racking up their loss bonus, and with the bomb plant, they're actually sitting pretty in this round, all things considered. But they're also running out of runway as EnVyUs are around closer than them to that all-important map point. Economy's fragile for EnVyUs, though. I have to remember that. I mean, no one's really streaked together more than 2 or 3 rounds in this half, and there's been a lot of rebuying, a lot of close rounds, so if Fnatic can snag this one, I mean, EnVy would actually be in pretty rough shape.
Definitely, yep. As you say, neither team has really flourished so far. It's made for an exciting CS. I mean, he's positioned to maybe even go the distance at this stage. XMS is up on the box. He's trying to spray his way to victory. RPK in the meanwhile is going to hold down drop, but XMS has gone down. Happy's up on the tree, needs to hold his position. This is why RPK's trade earlier was so important. It allows Happy to stay on the tree for a little while longer. Doesn't have to worry about the drop push, but now Crims is going to move into the space that RPK gave up. The tap's not far off of Flusher, landing on player's head. Scream's still behind the statue at this stage. 40 seconds left, and the bomb now traipsing its way to the B side. There's not going to be a late rotation. JW gets boosted up onto tree. Going to make the most of that. Six is already looking up there. Actually unscopes at the worst possible moment, just as he gets peeked. And now Happy, it's his turn to strike. He was right next to the Crims. They were close enough to dance with each other, but instead it's going to be a dance to the death as Sixer now is trying to make a move through drop zone, and he only has an AWP. It's have to be some crazy reaction shot, and JW will not allow that to happen, and the nightmare has become a reality dust. You foresaw this, you foreshadowed this. Their economy sucked, and now they're going to have to deal with it.
Really no more of an elegant way to put it than straight up just sucked, so we'll just have to go with that, as it is 13 all, and I actually thought EnVyUs was doing a good job in that round. Like you noted, RPK got a couple of big kills and drop, Happy able to maintain his positioning. He gets a frag, things are starting to fold. The slight fake that Flusha was trying to throw by putting that smoke and connector from middle to maybe sell that it was going to be an A hit didn't really work. They still maintained a 4-man stack on the A bomb side, so just kind of through pure will and brute force alone do Fnatic roll through that. A lot of props to JW. A little bit of a gimmicky boost of their own on the tree really did help them break that open. So just being a bit crafty in a tight situation. But look at XMS with the deagle, finds the first kill. Are we really going to go back and forth again on a pistol round like this? Is Fnatic now going to be on the receiving end of a round like this one?
Mate, the way this game's going, anything's possible. Of course, Green comes out and insta headshots like Crow. Why not? Why not add some sodium into the mix? Flush up Crims, Golden, all AKs. They're against Sixer and Happy, who have just USPs. And the downside for EnVyUs is the kills that they have got have been in positions they can't go retrieve the weapon from. So it's not like Fnatic have pushed a player in, lost them behind enemy lines, and it's an easy AK pickup. They actually have to stick to the pistols that they had at the start of the round. But they've thinned out the herd. All it takes is a smart positional play or a 1D to rain out from XMS. And this round gets real sketchy, but it seems like EnVyUs they've gone all in, and they're going to get Snake Eyes. They've gone B. It's actually going to be A, but now they've realized they're starting to rotate their way back over to the A side. XMS, though, with a deagle, the power play is still on B. It's going to have to come down to USB headshots or the P250. They're going to stack on the back of the site. Sixer spots him from the side. Actually does land a headshot, to be fair to him. But now Happy's died. They may not expect the third play to be here. There's RPK's P250. He was so close to landing that shot. There's such little time left, but Flusher is just about going to get that flat in the nick of time. There's literally a second left on the clock. Now it's up to XMS and his deagle. Golden, hello? Please land that shot, Golden. Not like this. He's going to get it done, but I bet that was some serious puckered butthole action going on. When he came out the corner and missed those shots and ran out of ammunition, I bet he's ready to jump out the window head first.
Yeah, the clinch was definitely real in the hindquarters on that round. I thought, again, it was EnVyUs again going for the double default. In fact, this was kind of a reversal. We saw that attempt in the first half and it didn't quite work out. And that last round, I believe it was of the first half, where you saw Fnatic going for it. Now EnVy tried to pull a trick out of their book and pull it on them, and it almost worked because the P250 frag comes in. If it would have been, you know, another second that he buys, they don't plant the bomb, and this round goes to EnVyUs. So, I mean, these rounds coming down to the wire, these tricky little pistol buys have caused a lot of problems for both teams, but Fnatic weather that one through. And so they are at 14-13. They are just one step away from that point. Again, can't stress this enough. Elimination is on the line in this game. It is, you lose to go hit up the Jacuz because the tournament's over. And Fnatic are just a couple of steps closer to doing just that to EnVyUs.
Sixer literally runs around the corner just holding down left click and lands the headshot on Flusher. Nearly gets a second. Wasn't too far off that. So early 1-for-1 trade. Would say that Fnatic are in a position that if they lose this round, they could go for another buy regardless. Even though Golden's down to $400, everyone else is okay. Pressure certainly mounting for EnVyUs. They have no nades left. With 35 seconds, no nades, no kits. It's going to have to come down to frags. XMS is going to peek up at the perfect moment, but can only get one kill. That's going to maintain the equality, the equilibrium between the two teams. Not for much longer as Golden takes himself RPK. And that bomb ripe for the taking, and it will be planted. Golden's going to get tagged through the smoke, down to 25. But I think Envy, if they don't get a kill soon, they may have to back away and save these M4s. Play for the overtime. Don't get too carried away here. The chances of clutching this round are so slight, so slim. They've got to go in soon. They have no kits. They can't afford to play it slow anymore. Has to be kills right here, right now, and Happy's gone down. Scream's all that remains. He's going to land himself a headshot, but again, the lack of kit means he's got to peace out. And Fnatic will have 2 match points. EnVyUs on the brink of being knocked out of DreamHack Masters Malmö.
Just efficient trading from Fnatic across the board, not letting that UMP at long A do too much damage. It was quickly traded back. Golden getting drop down room control. You saw the trade-off to B platform as well, so it's just Fnatic handling things a little bit better in key rounds, just making sure they stay a step ahead, and now they're just one step away from moving on tomorrow and knocking EnVyUs out of the tournament. Well, they will join the likes of Boot Dreamscape, Virtus Pro, and whoever loses between FaZe and Mousesports over on the other side.
All comes down to this. A real rummage together of weaponry. EnVyUs have made worse work so far in this match. They can't write them off just yet. But there's no doubting that they are already 1 foot out of this tournament. Again, a heavy B stack. Leaving Sixer by himself on long with the UMP. Reminiscent to the last couple of rounds. He's been spotted. That shot actually doesn't land from JW. I'm sure he's going to connect that. So Sixer can count himself lucky. $50 seconds. Going to go for the boost on long. We've seen this before, boosting over the smoke. Lecro's coming up through danger. 35 seconds now. Fnatic have done their best to make sure all these angles are covered so they can go onto the home stretch now. To the sprint towards the site. Sixer's going to come through with 1 kill. No second kill is available. Happy's at the back of the site. He's been here a couple of times already as well. They probably will check this eventually. But if there's 2 players popping up balcony, they may get caught in the chaos. Happy's going for 2 kills. And now XMS goes for the peak. The Lecro gets the frag and will go down to the hands of Happy. 5 health facing JW. 82 lands the dink. But Fnatic will win and knock EnVyUs out of DreamHack Masters Malmö. And Fnatic will play on home soil a few more times at this event.
Unreal, man. That was such a scrappy game. Basically, we just saw no one really streaking together more than 3 rounds. It was always responded with a couple by their opponent. It was very back and forth affair. There was a lot of gimmicks that went through, a lot of crazy, mixed pistol buys that somehow, won over their opponent. And it was just kind of a crazy game to watch. Just a scrappy game is really the best way to sum it up. I mean, Fnatic certainly did have a different look to them. They looked a little bit slower paced than what maybe you've been used to in the past. They looked a lot less loose and a bit more structured. I think there were sometimes they looked a bit too hesitant, but it didn't.
Wait, did Dust just drop? Midway through a sentence. I thought it was my internet because I had internet issues earlier. Well, that sucks. I think Dust was basically going to recap what happened in the map for you guys, and then just got completely bodied off his internet, of course. Sound. So that's it from us tonight, guys. Unfortunately, myself and Dust That was the one day that we're going to be casting from Malmö. We are remote cast. If you didn't know, we're actually casting from home, taking you the B stream. The rest of the event is going to be all on the main stream. It's all going to be, from here on out, best of threes, deciding matches, epicness for the next few days. I think it's going to be another 3 or 4 days of action. Hold on, Dust is here again. I'll drag him back in. Hello, Dust.
Hello.
What happened there?
It's a nice little TeamSpeak kicking me out.
Fanta.
Top quality kick.
So there's going to be 4 more days of CS action, guys. Dust, any final words before we head off here, before we round off the stream? I know you were midway through a point before.
Yeah, no, I'll just let it go. Again, you guys, make sure you transition over to the mainstream to catch the last elimination match of day 1 of this phase, taking on Mouse Sports. It's only just got into the second half, and it looks like it's a close game, so it should be a barn burner. Thanks all of you for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please follow us up at FollowDust, at OnFireVents. And with the elimination of the teams you've seen, it is also our elimination. We had a great time with the first day with you folks, but and again, it'll all be on the mainstream for the rest of the tournament, so make sure you go ahead and move over there and be there for the rest of the week. Should be a great time. Thanks a lot for tuning in.